PBKC is your entertainment destination for poker, table games, OTV, Paddock live events, and exceptional eats. The Paddock Restaurant is perfect for meetings, corporate functions, parties, fundraising, and more. Call 561-683-2222 extension 199 and book your next event today. Feast in Football is back in the Paddock. Get ready for touchdowns and tasty bites every football Sunday during the regular season. Enjoy a $25 all-you-can-eat buffet plus one draft beer, or get it free when you place a $25 or more live bet on the Hard Rock Bet app at PBKC, featuring 140 HD TVs, 3 giant screens, and a full bar. Bring your crew, place your bets, and pile your plate high. This is how Sundays were meant to be.
It's Wednesday morning. It's 10 a.m. It's time for PBKC Picks, broadcasted live from right here at the Palm Beach Kennel Club in West Palm Beach, Florida. My name is Mike Jamison. Over to my right, the president of PBKC, Mr. Pat Rooney.
How are you, Mike?
I'm doing well. How are you doing today, Pat?
I'm good. I'm fresh. I'm ready.
Okay.
Yeah, rumor has
I'm locked and loaded.
He has stuff like he.
Yeah,
I got some stuff that is going to blow Noah Carbone's mind.
A box of takes.
Doesn't take much.
Brought by Pat Rooney
It
today.
doesn't take much. He's right.
Right behind Earnest, right behind Pat is Earnest Christian, Earnestly Speaking podcast, longtime poker dealer. How you doing,
How
Ernest?
are you doing, Mike?
I'm doing well. And right behind me is one of our assistant general managers and the leader of the poker room, Mr. Noah Carbone.
Yeah, I'm ready to go head-to-head with Pat today.
No, it's not. It's not going to be. You're gonna.
Okay.
I think you won't like it.
All right.
You'll probably deep down be like, I hope this is true, but you'll fight.
Okay.
You'll fight.
All right.
Okay,
I'm
now I'm
here
really
for it.
looking forward
I like
to this.
this.
This is
Yeah,
going to be
can't wait.
exciting.
Stay tuned.
Yeah, first thing we're going to talk about is Feasted Football. It's getting hot in the Paddock Restaurant every Sunday until January the 4th with Feasted Football. The buffet is free if you bet a $25 bet or more placed on the Hard Rock Bet app the day of while you're at PBKC. If you do that, you're going to get that buffet for free. If not, it's going to be $25 all-you-can-eat buffet plus a free beer, and that's every football Sunday going all the way till January 4th. For more information, call Paul, 683-2222, extension 199. They got the regular menu going right now with chicken franchise, Italian hoagie bites, chicken wings, pretzel sticks with beer cheese, Italian sausage, olive and cheese tray, spinach and artichoke dip, garden salad, and assorted desserts. It's all at Feast and Football every Sunday in the Paddock. And let's talk now about our CBS Sports Pick'em contest that we got going on.
Yeah. How are we doing there?
Richard Perlman was the winner this week. That name sounds very familiar.
See, Tim Wright is okay. He's in second. He's retired now, so he does nothing but sit at home and I guess look at football stats.
That's what he
I don't
does.
know what he's doing. So congratulations, Tim, on your retirement and your professional sports handicap.
For real?
Yeah, Josh Alderman tied with Tim with 10 wins. Steve Lesser, one of my former backup announcers, has 9 wins.
I like seeing Josh locked in this year. He's locked in this year.
He is.
Mike,
Yeah, I love
Mike,
it.
is that you? Mike?
Oh, that's me. I finished 4th. I don't know what I did. I just should start picking randomly
You picked
now.
them blindly, probably, because knowing your history.
Well, I tied with Alexis, Megan Hume, and I'm happy to be in contention with them because they're actually much better than me this season.
You know, it's tough for not. This is against the spread. We can't
It is.
forget it is tough.
That's why I love it.
I mean, if
That's-
you're
that's-
above 500, you're doing something.
It's more fun that way.
Well, look, I see a name we recognize down there in 20th. That's Ernie
Rough
Christian.
week, sir.
6 wins on the week, but
Rough week.
congratulations to Richard Perlman. He's going to get that all-you-can-eat buffet in the Paddock for Feast and Football. And make sure you get your picks in every single week because it kind of starts anew every week. We're going to randomly select one of our winners and put a poker game together at the end of the season, and everybody's going to get a chance to go to our big game party, which we're going to talk about later on in the show. But let's get on to NFL news and talk about what's going on. One of the big stories was one of the bigger games last week. The Eagles defense stifled the Lions 16-9 on Sunday Night Football. How did we feel about that game, Pat?
I just keep reiterating over and over. The Eagles are in the exact position they need to be in. They've got little things to work on with the offense. That's good. You want some things during the season, like you're like, oh, we got to focus on it. But they're right where they need to be. They're leading the division. They're going to win the Super Bowl. Everybody might as well just forget it right now if you're a fan of another team. This team will get it together. They're going to get Saquon involved, I think, in the last 6-7 games of this season. They're going to start running the ball. Hurts is going to play a lot better. The only guy that gives me any pause at all is A.J. Brown. I don't know what his deal is. You're on a Super Bowl winning team. Shut it and enjoy it. I get it. You want the targets, you want the catches and all that. But for the love of God, you're where 99% of the players want to be, on a winning team. He's the only person that gives me any kind of pause that could somehow internally screw this up for the Eagles. Otherwise, they're winning it.
Yeah, they're and it's okay. I used to think, okay, the media's taking. Now it's past the point. I'm seeing what's going on. They tried to force him the ball in that game.
They did.
They were forcing it, and I'm like, this is not what we're doing. What are we doing? And it could cost the game. It did cost us. If you remember, I think it was. I believe it was last year where we did the same thing, and we're like, this isn't us, so stop trying to be something you're not. If it's there, it's there. I don't know. If Devonta Smith is getting too many catches, swap him in a couple of those plays. They're talking about the route trees and all these other things, and now he's dogging it on a couple of plays, they're saying. So it's disappointing to see somebody in that environment that's, obviously it's a positive environment for all the other players, for him to somehow be tanking. And you start to wonder, you hate to guess what somebody's personal life looks like, but he had some bouts with depression and stuff back in Tennessee, and he spoke openly about that and wonder if he's having some struggles internally that doesn't really apply to the football field, that he's translating it and is turning into a football field problem. So, again, if A.J. Brown doesn't play, I believe we still win. I believe we still have the tools to win any game. But as long as we don't change our focus on what we're trying to do. On the other note, the defense, just with the addition of Phillips out of Miami, it changed the whole entire game. And Brandon Graham's in there making plays, but with the pressure up the middle and Phillips coming off the edge, it's unbelievable. And I'm a firm believer he helped us. He did help us win this game. I don't know if we win it without that pressure from the edge, but they're sitting in a good spot now.
And this is the scary thing about this team, with all the quote-unquote issues they have, they are still 8-2 right now, whatever it is, and they're lapping the division right now. Bro, and they find what people don't appreciate this team, and I hate them doing this now. I hate this team,
I love
Pat. I hate this team. I can't stand the Eagles.
What can you do? It's inevitable.
But here's the thing: they are doing things the right way. And the thing what stands out to me more than anything else, and no one's talking about this, they're finding ways to win. Whether it's the defense, whether it's Jalen Hurts having to pluck out a game, whether it's Saquon. That's scary.
Well,
scary.
Name the last times you saw that. New England Patriots,
right?
Kansas City Chiefs,
right?
Philadelphia Eagles,
right? And that's what it is. And here's the thing: I hate to say this because I hate the Eagles, but winners win, and they are to me my favorites. And until someone else knocks them down, they are my favorites to win the Super Bowl.
Now, one note of caution though: Lane Johnson's out.
That's huge.
They're 14-25 without him.
Yeah.
Now I can't believe one guy on the offensive line means that much, but he does with them. So that's the only other little caveat there.
Well,
with the
I
Eagles.
I could volley that back to Pat. So Fred Johnson, who's starting for the Eagles in that spot, he's 5-1 when he starts in that spot.
Ooh.
So we have a little battle.
Smaller sample, but a good one.
Yeah.
Small sample, a good one though.
The Johnson brothers, that's them, of course. Now we're going to talk about another big game from last week. Josh Allen accounted for 6 touchdowns, which if you were playing against him in fantasy like I was, you're really unhappy about that. But the Bills were victorious over the Buccaneers, 44-32. We expected a big game from the Bills. How did you like this game, Pat?
Yeah, I mean, I know a lot of people like this from an offensive standpoint, and Josh Allen with 6 touchdowns and all that stuff. But you score 6 touchdowns, this game should be 51-3, and it wasn't. This was a game. The Bucs are, in a weird way, if you're a Bucs fan, you almost feel good about the way this game ended because you hung with this team. This is not good in a weird way for me for Buffalo going forward. You can't win in championship games doing this. You're not going to score. You're not going to outscore teams. This isn't the greatest show on turf anymore. I just think they're going to have severe problems with really good teams if they can't get that defense to stop some people. So yeah, it's great. It looks great on TV. There's a lot of scoring and all that kind of stuff. But the Bills got to get it together by the playoffs, or that ain't going to hold up, in my opinion.
This is exactly why I think the Bills. This is the problem. They're way too Josh Allen reliant, and this is this win. Look, great performance. Josh Allen's probably the best quarterback in football right now, but their defense, 32 points still against a banged-up Bucs team. That's a problem. This is why I think the Bills. Yes, they're a Super Bowl contender by default because they have that quarterback. But do I believe them to go to the Super Bowl this year? No, for this reason alone. So yeah, Pat, I agree with you on that.
Yeah, they say there's no like style points in wins, and they score all these points, and there's a little more to say for there's no style points and wins when your defense wins, but when you're trying to win like this, like Pat said, a lot of things you can't catch those breaks where you're getting 6 touchdowns every game when you're winging the ball all over the field. A coach once told me 2 things happen when you throw the ball, or 3 things happen, and 2 of them are bad, an interception and an incompletion. So yeah, when you start doing these things and the elements and all these other things come in, and now you're in a defensive battle that you don't have a defense, it's going to be a problem at some point.
Not running for Ray Bills Mafia. Sorry.
Yeah, the Broncos defeated the Chiefs in a big divisional matchup last weekend, 22-19 to take the AFC West lead. Now the Chiefs are 5-5 through 11 weeks. Is this going to be the first time in the Patrick Mahomes era that we don't see the Chiefs in the playoffs?
I was just going to say, this is hot take number 1. Chiefs, Lions don't make the playoffs. Mark it down.
Wow, there it is.
Hot take number 1.
The Lions.
That's it.
Yep.
That's a huge
this
one.
game, to me, the Chiefs had to have this game. And a winning team like the Eagles going into Green Bay a couple weeks ago, that's a game they have to win. The Chiefs had to win this game, and they were winning it, and didn't win it. And last year they're 11-0, 12-0 one-score games. This year they're 0-6. That's the difference between a championship team and a very good team that's on the decline, and that's what's happening with the Chiefs. Now, again, they're just like the Patriots were in a sense where, Tom Brady had that run early in his career, and they went 10 years, I think, between Super Bowls. That might happen with Patrick Mahomes.
Winning Super Bowls, yes, yeah.
That might winning. That might happen with Patrick Mahomes. They might have to rejuvenate that offense around him. He's still young enough that they can do it. But Travis Kelce and Chris Jones and those guys, they're getting to that point where they're just not as effective. Even though Travis Kelce had a good game, they're just getting to the point where they need some different guys in there to start taking leadership roles. The good news is they still got Mahomes. He's young. And man, you can do a lot if you have that championship level quarterback, which they do. So I wouldn't panic completely if I'm the Chiefs. They're just going to be in a lull. Maybe they don't make the Super Bowl this year.
Oh, me?
Yeah, you looked at me. You looked at me.
Well,
Actually,
yeah,
so
I got to say, so they come in and they play the Colts this week, and my Colts insider, he gave me the scoop. The Colts are the only team that Patty Mahomes hasn't beat in the regular season. So they're starting to develop some things. So Patty Mahomes is like in the top 5 against the blitz. But when he gets pressure up the middle, he's like in the bottom 5. So they're saying if they push that pocket and they push him forward, which some teams are built to do. Philadelphia is built to do that, and you saw it in the Super Bowl and some other teams. It causes him all kinds of problems. So yeah, I mean they could literally. I'd like to see when was the last time they haven't had 6 losses, obviously in the Patty Mahomes era, but they're set to do this week. I don't see any way as consistent as Indy's playing that they can pull that off. The Magic. Once you get that magic, you talk about winning teams win, and then losers start to lose. When you start to lose that magic, you get this false sense that you can win all these games. Yeah. Indy has that right now. They feel like they can win every single game, and I think Kansas City's starting to question themselves, and then they start to press a little bit, and they start making plays that they probably wouldn't, and they don't have the pieces on the offense like Pat said anymore. Right. There's just where is the youth movement? You look at Phil, and I hate to go back to Philadelphia, but they're the gold standard right now in the NFL. Yeah. But you look at the youth movement. They have so many players that you can't even sign them all coming out that are going to be all pro. And Kansas City, you start to wonder, okay, who's going to be the next guy? And you don't know. We're talking about guys that won a Super Bowl 5 years ago. Travis Kelce and Jones up in the middle. So, yeah it's going to be a long
I'm probably the biggest Chiefs homer that's not an actual Chiefs fan. Even I'm starting to get a little worried, but I'm not there yet, Pat. I'm not just there yet. Like, this week might decide that, though. We discussed this weeks ago about the stretch, the 3-game stretch.
Must win.
They're now 0-2 in that stretch now. The Bills lost. What's the last week? Denver. So, look, the AFC West out of conversation now. They're 5 back of actually Denver with the tiebreaker. Okay. So, but I'm not ready to burn this yet because I just can't absolutely.
Well, that's what I'm saying, Ernest. If you look at the tiebreakers, they lose to everybody.
They
lose
do.
to Jacksonville. But
here's the thing, though. So look at the wild card in the AFC right now. It's a mess. It's a big mess.
I agree.
Yes. Do you really trust the Jaguars to close the deal?
No,
do you trust the Texans to close the deal?
Not.
That's why I can't bury them just yet for that reason alone.
They lose this one, you burying them?
It depends what Jacksonville does this weekend against whoever they play. Because I got a hot take for that game coming up very soon also, too. Ooh. So, like I said, I until this team is dead and buried, and when I see it on the NFL.com, out of contention, then I believe it. That's how much I respect Mahomes and Andy Reid.
Okay, in an NFC West matchup, the Rams defeated the Seahawks 21-19. Are the Rams a real deal? Where do you put them up with Philadelphia and the NFC?
Well, this was a great game. This is really Seattle just continues, along with the Colts, to shock the living hell out of me. I did not think they were anywhere close to being this good, but they are. Darnold threw, I think, 4 interceptions this game, something ridiculous. Now, the Rams should have beat them a lot. Again, should have been not even close, and it came down to a missed 61-yard field goal for them to hold on. So, yeah, it's good to win a game, good to win a close game, but I'd feel better being the Seahawks because you don't think Darnold's going to have another game like that, or you would hope he wouldn't. And the Rams didn't do enough to completely separate themselves from the Seahawks. The Rams should win this division now. The 49ers are coming on and all that. This is probably the best division in football. They can take solace in the fact they won this game, and it was a great game. But when you get 4 picks, you should win more.
Real quick on the Rams. The Rams, to me, are the second best team in the NFC, clearly. They're the one team that can challenge Philadelphia. We said that on the podcast. That Stafford scares you. Not about the Rams. I feel even better about Seattle now coming off that game, even after losing. 4 turnovers in that game, and you're still in a position to win that game late. To me, they're an S-Bob team. They're a Super Bowl contender at this point, for me. That defense is really good. After that first quarter, they clamped down hard on Matthew Stafford and the rest of that crew. So I'm a believer in the Seahawks. Now, obviously, Darnold, there's obviously a lot of talk about him and about how he plays. In the big games, he melts down, and that's something he has to work on, obviously. But this team as a whole, though, I think they're going to be a problem. I think if you're Green Bay and you're Detroit, like this team just leapfrogged you guys now because I think Seattle's a Super Bowl contender. I believe that.
Yeah, if they run into matchup, are you going to take Sam Darnold over Matt Stafford, Jalen Hurts?
No.
And name a couple other guys. So you're not. You don't even take. I don't think you take him over Jordan Love. So that's a little bit worrisome because those big gamers and the guys who play well in the big games, I'm not sold on it. And he already had his chances. Darnold last year, the past couple of years where he had shots at these things that just melted down. I'm a fan of gamers, guys that get in the big game and they excel in those big games and they can handle the pressure. And here's another example of that you talk about. This was a big game. Now you throw 4 picks. That's the same stuff that Tua does in a big game that he just can't get the job done. So until the Seahawks straighten that out, I don't think they could really compete.
Now let's talk about Tua. The Dolphins beat the Commanders 16-13 in overtime to win the first ever NFL regular season game in Spain. Even though there was that bad call by Mike McDaniel, how do we like the Dolphins with 2 wins in a row?
All right, this is it.
I
was going to like it.
I knew it.
I
knew it, Pat. I knew it.
Dolphins run the table. They run the table.
Wow.
They got the Saints. They got the Jets. They got the Steelers, who will be in free fall. They got the Bengals. They got the Buccaneers, is going to be tough, but it's at home. And then they got the Patriots at the end. The Patriots, that game won't mean anything. Dolphins run the table and make the playoffs.
Hold on, Pat. I teased this 2 weeks ago. I got laughed at for that.
Yeah, well, it's
I
you.
teased
it
this.
was you, though.
You're going – no, right. You're saying it now, running the table. I teased it. I don't think it's going to happen. Again, I still believe that was going to happen, but
now I think it is.
Let me ask you guys a question.
That was legitimately shocked back there. He's like, please no. Please no. I got to get rid of this guy.
Let me ask you a question, the panel. That call that McDaniel made in the fourth quarter late where he had a chance to go up by 3 with about a minute and a half to go and the Commanders had one more possession left to tie it or win it. Did you agree with McDaniel? Because bro, I lost my you know what?
You lost it.
I was going to say the S word.
You lost your stuff.
I lost my stuff. I can't say the S word obviously in the show, but do you agree with the call?
Mike?
On the field, they're going for the 4th down?
Oh, no. No,
Pat?
I don't agree with that.
Pat,
you
what do
put
you
points
think?
on the board.
No, yeah, you got to put the points on.
Well, look at what Gambling Dan did again. He went for 5 times on 4th down and went 0 for 5.
Yeah, ridiculous.
By the way, real quick on that. This is, again, when we're talking about separating winning teams from losing teams, and this is why I lost faith in the Lions. That 1 4th down, I think it was in the 3rd quarter, they're on the 2-yard line, and they run a thing where they have 3 receivers in the the tight end is wide open. He is from me to you, Noah. He's wide open, and Goff throws it in the back of the end zone to a guy that's clearly covered. I'm like, that's it. They're done. That drives me nuts. I'm like, you can see this guy's 2 yards in front of you, and there's no one covering him. That's that. All right. I'm off.
Dolphins run the table. This is great. I can't go to the Dolphins table. great.
I like it.
Listen, you got
I
to
hope
put
you're
stuff
right.
out there.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
the Dolphins run a table to make me lose faith in everything I think about how an organization is supposed. The roster on paper shouldn't run the table, and the coach, he shouldn't run the table. The quarterback
right.
shouldn't be able to run the table. And then if they do this, I know nothing about football, and it's some kind of like something I don't understand about this game. I can't see it happening.
Right.
I don't even. Yeah, I would just. I don't.
And by the way, if that happens, even more wins coming up at the end of the year, that is the worst thing to happen to this team because Mike McDaniel should not still be the coach of this team. Period.
Yeah.
He should have gotten fired after that call. You have to win the game.
he should get fired after the win.
Yeah.
Now look, they might lose to the Saints this week. Like that
Well,
is plausible.
It's what
So-
Mike
That's a
does.
must
So
win.
it's kind of, if this falls in a pattern, though, it does fall in a pattern of what I've said all along with Tua. When Tua doesn't need to win a game, he can. Right now, they wrote him off. If they start winning these games and playing on house money, they'll get right to the end. And when he has to win that game, he will fail. That's what I write that down. That's what I feel.
Well,
Like,
somebody
right
tell
now.
Tua that these games mean nothing, and he's going to run the
does.
table
He
the rest of
knows.
the
He does
season.
that.
Yeah, I look forward to that. The Patriots are currently the hottest team in the NFL. They beat the Jets on Thursday night. That's not that great, but the Patriots are now 9-2. They've won 8 straight games. How do we feel about the Pats?
I mean, I think the Pats are probably a year or two earlier than where they need to feel like they can legitimately win a Super Bowl. Most times teams this young with a young quarterback don't just go to the Super Bowl and win it. It can happen, but it's a rarity. I think Vrabel's done an excellent job. In a weird way, I think he's put more pressure on himself because in the coming years, there's really going to be nothing the Patriots do. Assume they win that division. That's a tremendous win this year for them if they win that division. Then if they win a playoff game, tremendous plus this year. But if they lose a playoff game, all right, well you won the division, and so you're feeling like you're ascending. So then the pressure really ramps up next year, especially if the Bills continue to take a little bit of a step back. All right, now you got to consistently start winning. That's what I want to see out of the Patriots. I think they're, like you talked about, Ernest, I think they're playing on house money to some extent right now because no one had any expectations for them at all this year. And Drake May and all those guys have clearly exceeded all those expectations. So I think they're going to continue to win. I don't think their schedule's super hard, and I think they're actually going to win this division. And then it just comes down to what's the playoff Drake May going to be like, and how does he handle that and all that kind of stuff. That's where the coaching part of this is really going to come in. And if they can win a game in the playoffs, it's great. But man, then the expectations in New England, as Pat Sullivan can tell you, are really going to go through the roof next year. And then you're going to see what kind of job Mike Vrabel is able to do with a team that has some high expectations.
I'm not there yet to call them Super Bowl contenders. However, a couple of things can happen and might happen depending on the playoff picture, how it shapes out next couple weeks. If the Ravens and the Chiefs do not make the playoffs, then I'm telling you, this is a wide open AFC as we've seen it in decades. And the Pats will be included in that conversation as Super Bowl contenders. Because at that point, every team that made the playoffs, not including the Ravens or the Chiefs, or teams I believe are something of going to Super Bowl because of the teams that are in the playoffs at that point. So I'm not there just yet, but Vegas was right. Like, I was one of the people criticizing the over-unders before the year started. There were 8.5 wins. I said, why is this number so high? I don't get it. 8.5 wins for the Pats?
Why.
I don't get it. And now I do. They crossed it now. They're 9 now. So kudos to Mike Vrabel, who right now, we talk about Shane Steichen, Coach of the Year. We talk about Kyle Shanahan, even Ben Johnson in the conversation. I think Vrabel just leapfrogged all 4 of those guys.
Yeah, not all schedules are created the same. I remember when I coach youth football, we get our schedule, and I look at and I go down the list and be like, okay, win, and then like Belglades or Pahokee was on there. I was like, lost. No, it's not going to happen. I would be able to predict it almost spot on.
Right.
We can't forget that schedule. Who they're playing matters. Right now, the Patriots, their opponent's win percentage is 35%. That's their win percentage, 0.35. That's not great. That means the team's losing 2 out of every 3 games. They're beating up on teams that aren't really good. And eventually, as soon as you get to playoffs, you got to play good teams. And then and even their schedule the rest of the way, looking at it, there's not many teams on there that they have to play that are good.
Ravens are on there. Ravens and Bills again.
Right. So yeah, that's when you start to decide, okay, are they competitors? Because their strength of schedule is absolutely terrible. And then you look at teams like the Eagles and Rams. The Eagles have the number 1 strength of victories. Their opponents win 50% of the games, and the Rams right behind them. But yeah, you're beating bad teams. I don't even know if you're getting better at some point because you get used to those games and where you could compete. But then when you really get up against a buzzsaw, you struggle.
To their credit, they are the games, the tough games, the Bucs game, the Bills game. That's their signature wins this year. They have cashed in on those, so I'll give them credit for that.
Okay.
Yeah, now we're going to talk about a team that we don't give a lot of credit to, and that's the Bears, who improved to 7-3 with a last-second 19-17 win over the Vikings. Are the Bears the real deal, Pat?
I mean, I think they are. This team reminds me of the 2007 Bears that got to the Super Bowl with Rex Grossman.
Yeah. Oh, 06.
Where like the defense was really good, but the special teams were unbelievable with Devin Hester. And like if you look at the Bears special team, like that's how they won that game. The Vikings kick off, they got the lead, and the guy runs the kickoff back to like the 30-yard line, and you know the game's over at that point. They just got to make a field goal. So they're doing those little things like the Bears used to do with special teams and just getting enough out of the offense. I mean, Caleb Williams has definitely improved. He's still 30th, I think, in pass completion percentage, but he's getting better for whatever that is. So I give Ben Johnson a lot of credit for getting this team to where they need to be, that they could actually win this division, which is shocking to me. Yeah. This team, again, like with Seattle and Indianapolis, you could have given me $1 million and said the Bears weren't going to have a winning record, let alone be 7-3 or whatever they are. So I give them a lot of credit. They're as Bill Parcells used to say, your record is what it is, what it says it is, and their record is pretty good. So and unlike the Patriots, they've actually beaten some decent teams. So I'll give them credit.
Tuna was kind of lying about that, to be honest with you. Tuna was kind of lying about that. Look, the cardiac Bears. It's a nice story. It's a nice story. I like it. I'm rooting for Caleb Williams because this guy hates him especially too.
Yeah,
but they're not winning the Super Bowl. Don't get me wrong.
No, and in fact, here's another hot take. They're not going to the playoffs still. They're not going to the playoffs.
They might win that division.
They won't.
They could win that division.
They could. They're not going to because there's a little bit of fake hustle in this team.
A lot of beef in here today.
Like, I don't know, man. Like, I got to look at the schedule first, but I just don't see it. But I will say in the short term, Ben Johnson has done a fantastic job in rehabbing Caleb Williams back to being a functional quarterback. Again, you're seeing spots now. You're seeing moments here where, that's why he was number one in the draft. Now I get it. So the Bears, they're a good team. I'm not there yet, big picture, but they are ascending in a good way. But I want to see a complete win. Like come behind, win against the Vikings, miraculous win against the Giants 2 weeks ago. Like, I get it. You find a way to win that game. But I like to see a complete game win, a couple of those games going forward the rest of the year before I start believing this team is a playoff contender.
All right, this one's a real bad one. The Bears are of a strength of opponent. Their opponents are winning at a 27% rate right now. So the Bears, they run it. Well, okay. I'll change my mind if the Bears come into Philadelphia and play Philadelphia and even make it somewhat compatible, a competition in 2 weeks. I don't see it happening. I think 30% completion rate it starts to get tough. You're gonna. I do think Green Bay wins the division. The Bears could. Their schedule is easy to rest it away. But yeah, until they beat a team.
You're out on Detroit.
Huh?
You're out on Detroit.
Oh yeah, Detroit. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Detroit. We took care of that business.
Okay.
Yeah. We took care of
that whole division. Yeah, minus the Bears. The Bears are next, and then we're all done.
Yeah. So Steelers quarterback Aaron Rodgers reportedly suffered a wrist fracture during the game against the Bengals. How are we looking at the rest of the season for the Steelers now?
Well, I mean, it's going to be. I don't. Rodgers has been very good. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
He's been a lot better than I thought he was going to be. He's not mobile, which you wouldn't expect from a 40-some-year-old quarterback. Yeah. And it seems like as the years gone on, the pass routes have gotten shorter and shorter, and that drives me nuts because I really want to see some downfield throws. But he doesn't have a ton of time to throw the ball. The offensive line is just not giving him enough time to get rid of it. So, Mason Rudolph came in the second half of this game and it looked like a younger version almost of Aaron Rodgers. He was mobile. He was able to, elude some of the rush and things like that. You're going to get that out of Mason. Mason's a decent backup quarterback. You're not winning the Super Bowl with him. But again, this team, it just really, really depends on them getting turnovers. They got 2 defensive touchdowns in this game. This game was actually a lot closer than the final score indicated because they ran back to a fumble and an interception. So the Steelers they're a good team if they get turnovers. Now, the problem is you can't count on that, especially if you're getting into the playoff situation. I don't know where they go, to tell you the truth. Like the next game they got is Chicago, and this was going to be my bet your mortgage. I had this game highlighted in the beginning because we suck in Chicago. We're 1-11 lifetime in Chicago.
Really?
Now, the problem was going to be
tough.
for me is Aaron Rodgers is 26-5 against Chicago. So I was like, all right, who's going to win that battle? Is Aaron Rodgers, he was the famous I own you. Remember that when he said that to the Bear fans? So I was like, man, this is going to be tough. But now if he doesn't play, I'm like, well, are you going to go against 1-11? Because that's a pretty good stat to tell you where this game's going to go. The only thing that gave me hesitancy with the game against Chicago is if Chicago stunk, then I would really double down on the Steelers losing this game. But because they're decent, the Steelers aren't going to be favored in the game. So I don't know where to go with it. But in terms of the season overall, Mike, we kind of thought Rodgers was going to get hurt at some point anyway, and it happened.
He may play.
And he could even play.
Yeah, he could play.
Terry Bradshaw played with a broken left wrist for, I think, 5 games in the 1977 season. He had a cast on, and that was back when they went under center all the time. So he figured it out. I don't think this precludes him from playing. He's not going to get surgery. It's just I don't know if you're going to get enough out of Aaron in terms of him affecting games for them to win games if we don't get turnovers. That's just it probably isn't going to happen.
What the word is, Rodgers himself intends to play the game.
He wants
so
to.
That's on him.
Yeah, because he hates Chicago. He wants to play.
So coaching might decide that, though. But Rodgers, the Steelers are in trouble because that other team, that we left for dead like a month ago is on their heels, like literally a game behind now in the standings, and they still have 2 games to play. So this is a definitely must win. We'll get to the picks obviously in a second, but you want to talk must win for the Steelers? This is a must win.
Wow, I'm impressed with Pat's stats today. He did some stuff. He's has all the numbers.
I love Steeler stats.
1-11 though, for real?
1-11.
That's insane
One
to
game
me.
they won was Neil O'Donnell won in overtime in '95.
Wow.
They had to use
Super Bowl
Ernie
year.
Mills and I mean it was
Super Bowl year.
We had the game. We should have won it easily, and it took everything because Chicago I think stunk at the time. But other than that, we've never won in Chicago.
That was Eric Kramer.
Yeah, that stuff starts to sink in, and it's only how many do you lose in a row before it's not a thing? I mean, losing 11 out of 12 is a lot to not call it something mental or whatever you want to call it. But I'm interested to see what they do with Aaron, if they put some kind of brace or something on there. But yeah, if he's not under center all the time, I think they'll be fine. I think that the Pittsburgh defense, and we'll get into this later, is going to be able to handle Caleb.
But by the way, it's a little bit of a misnomer, that 1-11 thing, though, because you played at least for a long time that the rotation was once every 8 years.
Yeah, but still
Chicago.
11. Wait,
one every 8 years,
still-
though.
Wait, what are
still
you
a
saying?
stat.
Wait.
It's a big stat. I'm just saying that it's once every 8 years, though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Okay,
teams drastically change in 8 years.
Okay,
It just happens to be very random.
We're not going to get into you trying to explain why 1-11 is different if you play every 8 years.
I'm just saying, 8 years, bro.
Okay.
That's for another
I'm
show.
just throwing the
Ernest.
stat out there.
No, I love the stat, Pat. I'm just saying, though, for context.
Does it make it better?
Rodgers
because it's only every 8
stats more
years?
impressive. He plays every year there. That's
Okay,
all.
shout out to Skyler, who is a big
What's up,
Cowboys
Sky?
fan. He said that a lot of the Steelers fans he's talking to are okay with Rudolph. So
They need to find new people to talk to, because that is ridiculous.
he said that. I didn't, Skyler. Jamar Chase has now been suspended for spitting at Jalen Ramsey.
idiot.
Ramsey then got kicked out of the game for throwing some punches. That is just, to me, the most idiotic thing. We had the spitting thing the first game of the season with Noah's guy.
Dak.
Now
Dak
we've got
first.
another spitting incident
Jalen
that
Carter.
is going to cost Jamar Chase the game. How do we feel about this?
if you watch the replay of this, I think what these guys are doing now is they're not spitting like what's the linebacker from San Francisco that did it? Spits right in somebody's face.
Romanowski?
Yeah. So you're not getting that anymore. What you're getting is
insane.
the spit like at the bottom of the shirt. It's like I'm spitting on the ground, but I'm really spitting on your crotch. And it's like well, all right. And so Jamar's like, I didn't spit at him. I didn't spit at him. I'm like, yes, you did. What you did was sort of what Dak did. He's just I listen. I think they should be spending for more than one game. I think this is ridiculous, and you got to send a message because, for whatever reason, that's become the in thing this year. We're going to start spitting at people, and I think it's just ridiculous.
Yeah, there's different levels of spitting too. Like you can hock a loogie and put it right in somebody's eye, and that is the ultimate. But they use it as a level of disrespect. But I I don't know. I don't know what it is. If it's a football thing or what it is, where somebody says, "I'm going to spit on somebody." We, as a first line of conflict, like I thought it used to be punches. Just punch somebody. Like spitting on. I think it's slap them or like but spitting. I mean,
See,
what's next?
stop comparing what Dak did. He spit on the ground.
Cowboys fan.
He
checking
knows.
in.
Up put Tui. Up put Tui.
So, you got to change the rule to spitting in any direction. It doesn't matter if it's above or below the waist. If it's in the general direction of a player, it needs to be a foul. But
Like doing baseball. Like you talk and then spin away and then
But you
clear my throat.
You try to understand like where that have you done this before? Do you spit on other people? Like what are you doing? Like what is it?
Hakalugi.
Yeah, it's absolutely the worst. Shedeur Sanders came in after Dylan Gabriel got a concussion last week. I'm sure all the Cleveland media is now talking about Shedeur Sanders. How do you think he looked in his debut?
Well, I mean, this is to me, it's very unfair, and I'm no Shedeur Sanders apologist in any way, shape, or form. But this kid had gotten no reps, none with any since training camp. I think nothing, and they put Gabriel in. He's the second string guy, so they know there's a chance he could play. Still, as far as I know, didn't get any reps the whole week. They throw this kid in there basically completely naked. He barely probably knows the plays, doesn't really know. Jeff Saturday was saying this. He's like on one of the ESPN shows, he's like, they don't even know his cadence. So they're not used to him with how he uses barks out the signals and stuff. So a lot of those guys, he made a great point. He said what they do in that situation is they take an extra second because they don't know exactly when he's going to say hut or whatever he says, and in that split second, that's all it takes for a lot of those defensive linemen. Then they got an edge on you. And if you looked at the tape of when he was playing, he's running for his life on virtually until the very last drive when they were in a prevent defense. He was running for his life with every snap of that. So there's no way you can evaluate him based on that. Now, I will say this. I know it was in prevent defense and all that. When he did get a chance to throw, his arm looked good to me. Like he's got some power in the arm. But you can't judge that performance because the kid had no chance at all to be able to perform under those circumstances, in my opinion.
Totally agree. You throw him in a game against your bitter rival, a team that's ascending, they're playing better defense in a couple of weeks. I mean, what do you want? And he has no first team reps at all this year. Like, you can't expect that. But now, obviously, we'll see this week. He'll probably just start this week against the Raiders, Mike's team, of course. that you might pick. I don't know. But
still not.
Still not going to pick the Raiders. No, but like I said, they have to see this through.
So
they got to see this through.
He will start this week, right?
Yes.
That's what we're saying?
That's the rumor.
What they'll do is they'll come up and they'll script the first 10 plays, and he'll get used to what that looks like, and he'll have that on his belt. But yeah, like Pat said, to throw him in there, it's a full disservice. You're going from not practicing with the first team or even a second team. You're on a scout team at some point, and now you're thrown in there with these guys trying to figure out the timing of all these players. At some point, they should have started him in a game and let him go from start to finish. They should have given him that opportunity. Do not judge him on this. He did make those throws. Like Pat said, he made one throw. It should have been caught, in my opinion, to the corner of the end zone on the left side. I remember watching the play, and I thought it was a pretty good throw. I thought the guy had the ball, and it looked like it was a drop more so than a bad throw. But he can make those, and he can make those plays. There's something to be said. So I give you a quick comparison. So dealers, when they're learning how to deal, if they're learning how to deal a new game, sometimes we have auditions, and some people cannot. In an audition, they melt down and they totally struggle and they fail. They can't get it. They're under a spotlight. But then if you just let them go and have them go deal and watch them, they do fine. And I think Shedeur might feel that pressure. When you get that pressure, just let him go and let him throw.
That's how I did.
And give him an opportunity.
By the way, that's the way I dealt too. I didn't get audition. I got thrown to the wolves.
Yeah, you can't play the big game, Earnest.
I missed just throw me to the wolves.
I understand a big game dealer. That's for sure.
Wink, baby. By the way, the Browns quarterback room will be the same next year because it's a crappy draft. So the same three guys, yes, Deshaun Watson included in that, it will be the same room next year. So they got to see this through.
Another, by the way, how do you think Myles Garrett feels? He is an unbelievable player. I'm not a fan of his, but he's an unbelievable player, and he is stuck on this team, and they are going nowhere.
But to your point, you made it early in the year during free agency. That was his choice.
I agree with you.
So
I absolutely agree with you. But man, oh man, if anybody has some second thoughts, it's got to be. He was wrecking that game for the whole game basically, and they still lose.
It's a shame because he's an all-time great now. What he's doing, all-time great stuff he's doing now.
Yeah, they'll probably win this week. Now, let's go over the injury report. Michael Penix Jr., he's on IR now.
3 ACLs in what?
Injured
How many
this
years?
game.
5 years? 4 years?
Yep. Drake London, PCL strain. He's not going to play this week. Josh Jacobs is questionable. Aaron Rodgers obviously fractured his left wrist. Jalen Warren has an ankle injury but is optimistic about playing. Dalton Kincaid for the Bills. He missed practice earlier the week with a hamstring injury. We have C.J. Stroud. He's still in the concussion protocol.
Really?
Yeah, J.K. Dobbins is now out for the season. So is Calvin Ridley after breaking his leg after like one catch the other day. Jackson Dart is still questionable, and then Lane Johnson is now on the.
He's out for the year, Lane Johnson, or is it
4 to 6 weeks? They're talking about.
So playoffs. Okay,
He'll be back for
He'll be fine
for Super Bowl for sure.
He'll be back in time. And now let's go over the games for week number 12. We're going to start off with the Thursday night game, and that's going to be Buffalo at Houston, where Buffalo goes in favored by 5.5.
Well, I mean, when is the Miles Davis experiment going to be over? Or what's his name? The
Davis Mills.
Yeah, Davis Mills.
I mean, he actually didn't play that bad last week, so I got to give that kid some credit. But again, we talk about a lot of must games, and Thursdays are so tough for away teams. They're so tough to handicap an away team coming in on Thursday because I just don't think the teams have the chance to prepare, and I think mentally they're just trying to get through the game. But Buffalo's got to win this game. They really do. I know Houston's still fighting for playoff spot as well, but if Buffalo's the team we think they are, they got to win this game. They got to figure out how to do it.
I'm with you on that one, man. This is a trap. It's a trap game for the Bills too. Short week on the road against a team that's playing better football. Remember, they were 0-3, not a 5-5 in the thick of the playoff race. And I'll tell you what, Bills win this game, but I'll take Houston the points here.
Yeah, so this is, we talked about matchups in Buffalo's defense. So Buffalo's defense isn't great, but Houston's offense, in my opinion, isn't great. So when you combine those two, I think that might be a wash. But then you get Buffalo's offense against anybody, and it's not a wash anymore. I have this circled as my bet of the week. I have Buffalo winning big here.
Yeah, I'm taking Buffalo for the big win. Shout out to Skyler, Tony Burns, and Schmergs who checked in.
Well done, Schmerg.
Now we're moving on to Sunday's games. There's no early games on Sunday, which is a shame. We start off with Pittsburgh at Chicago, where Chicago is favored by 2.5.
Yeah, this was going to be a bet your mortgage game, but I can't do it. I'm still going to take Chicago because I'm not going against the 1-11, but this isn't as confident level, especially if Aaron Rodgers plays. 26-5 is a big number to go against. I mean, he does feel like he owns Chicago. The Steelers should win this. They need to win this, but I am not going against 1-11. I'm taking Chicago.
This is a must-win for the Steelers, and as a must-win get right now with the Ravens on their heels. Again, they lose this game, and Ravens win against the Jets, which they should. They're tied. They're tied in division. It's that simple. I don't know where to go in this game because I know where Aaron Rodgers is. If he plays this game, they might win this game, but he might not play this game because Tom might say, no, sit out 1 more week. I'll take Chicago.
Yeah, the Bears haven't beaten anybody. They're not beating Pittsburgh here. The Bears defense is going to put trickery into Caleb Williams.
Yeah, I'm actually taking Chicago in this one at home. Now moving on, New England at Cincinnati, where New England goes in favored by 8.
Well, is Joe Burrow going to play? I mean, if he plays, I give Cincinnati at least a chance because Cincinnati is really, really close, if not already out of it. They lose one more game and they're out of it. So I don't know what you do with Burrow at this point if he's sort of ready to play. Do you play him and hope they go on some kind of a run? New England at some point is going to falter. I'm going to take New England, I'm going to take Cincinnati, even if Burrow doesn't play. I just think Cincinnati's due to win a game, and New England's probably due to lose a game.
I don't know why we've been discussing Burrow at this point. I know it's been talked for 2 weeks about he's practicing limited practice. Why? You're 3-7. You have no chance to win the division. You have no chance to win the wild card. Rest the guy next year. Come clean. No Jamar Chase this week on top of that, too, suspension. Give me the right hot Patriots.
Yeah, I got to take the Patriots here because no Chase changes that whole dynamic.
You're damn right it does.
Yeah. I'm taking the Patriots again on the road, favored by 8 in that one. Now, Giants at Lions. Lions favored by 10.5.
Yeah, this is a tough game. It's a tough game because I really don't think Detroit is got it this year, and that's a lot of points. The Giants stink, though. I'll take Detroit, but this is a game I would stay away from if you're betting.
Detroit. This is a get right game for them. If you want to get back into who you've been the last couple of years in dominant fashion, you beat this team the way you're supposed to. The Giants. They're kind of frisky. Even with Jameis, quarterback, they were frisky last week. They almost beat Green Bay last week at the Meadowlands. But I can't see this Detroit being this bad. I know we said before the year started, you and I agree on this. They will be regression to the mean. We didn't think it'd be this bad, though. But give me Detroit to win this game and cover. They better cover this game. I think style points matter this week for the Lions.
Yeah, Detroit, they're showing a pattern. Remember a couple weeks back, they lost a game. I forget who it was against. And then I said, this is a bounce-back game. They're going to blow them out, and they did. And then the same thing. They wanted this win in Philly.
Tampa.
They didn't get it, and I'm sure they're upset about that. And they're going to go in and blow out the Giants. The Giants, I mean, Jameis is starting this week again.
We don't know yet. If I'm Giants, I start him another week.
I like watching
He played
I'll
last
watch
week.
that just for his antics and what he's going to do
fun.
next.
He's
but,
fun,
yeah.
though.
He's the most fun quarterback there is.
You know
that's
what?
for sure.
And you know what? At least he pushes the ball down the field.
You know, it's
like
fun.
us.
Winning is fun.
Well, we'll get there.
Yeah.
We'll get there.
I'm taking Detroit also. Now we're moving on. Minnesota at Green Bay. Green Bay favored by 6.5.
I got to believe Green Bay at some point has a much better game than they've had in the last several weeks. They just haven't looked like they're on track since they beat Pittsburgh. Minnesota, I don't know what to make of them. That game was really critical to them last week, losing and a heartbreaker at home. That's tough to bounce back with, especially going on the road against Green Bay. I think Green Bay wins this one relatively easily.
Just like Detroit, like another team that's kind of middling right now that needs a win to get back into playoff form, Super Bowl contention form, and I know Minnesota's a kind of obviously divisional game. Minnesota's kind of a bit of a frisky team that can get play with you here and there. But if you're the Packers and you're a Super Bowl team, you just trade for Micah Parsons. You got a quarterback in Jordan Love who's probably a top 10 guy, possibly. If you're a Super Bowl team that wants to go to the Super Bowl, you gotta win these games and win it in the way you're supposed to. So I'm going to put a little bit of faith in this team. I've lost faith in this team. If they don't win this, forget the fact they'll win this game. If they don't win this game by at least more than a touchdown, we got a problem here.
Yeah, without their tight end, it's changed things. He got lost in the second half of that other game, and they didn't produce well against Philadelphia, obviously. Minnesota, they're Green Bay's supposed to win this game. How many points is it, Mike?
6.5.
6.5 is a lot.
Divisional game too, especially.
Yeah, I'm going to take Minnesota.
I don't blame you.
I'm going to take Green Bay at home. Now Seattle at Tennessee, where Seattle goes in favored by 13.
This is just one of those games. We talked about Seattle crossing the country, and they've actually done so with success. They won on Pittsburgh this year. I think Seattle. I don't think that close loss hurts them. I think that galvanizes them a little bit. Like, hey, you cut out the four interceptions, and we probably win that game easily. Tennessee's just going nowhere. They might only win one game this year, so I'm taking Seattle big in this one.
Tennessee is the worst team in football, and it's not even close. And in a league where you have the Saints and the they are the worst team in the league.
The Raiders.
Thank you. Look, that loss against the Rams on Sunday was a good loss for Seattle. I think even going cross country, they're going to be seething. I think Darnold's not play as bad that bad again. I think the Seahawks cover this game relatively easy, honestly.
Yeah, the only 10 I see is how many years they haven't been competitive. I mean, if you think about it, it's like, what are we talking about here? I can't remember the years of futility like Tennessee has right now, and I know all teams go through
mostly.
But for that many years, put them in the category with the Jets and that level of futility. This is terrible. If you literally gave me next 3 years and you said Tennessee's playing X, I'm just taking X. I'm taking the other team. Give me Seattle.
Okay, yeah, I'm taking Seattle to win big on the road. Now, Indy at Kansas City, what might be the game of the week, and Kansas City is favored by 3.
If Kansas City loses this game, they're in trouble. I hate to jump on what I think might be a sinking ship, and I'm taking Indianapolis here, and I think this is the nail in the coffin for the Chiefs.
Well,
it's going to happen somewhere. Yeah. They're going to lose a game that, this game, they might jump out to a big lead and then all of a sudden Indianapolis comes back and kicks a field goal at the end, and they're like, "Whoa, where are?" Then they'd be 5-6 or something. So this might be it. I'm going to take Indianapolis here.
Because of the circumstances, this has a very huge change in the guard scenario and feel to it. And like I said, if the Chiefs lose this game, I guess that you have to call them cooked, I guess. AFC Walker Pitcher may say something different, though. But, again, it comes back to what I said. Do you see a world going to week 13 where Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes are under 500? I just don't. It has nothing to do with the Colts. The Colts are a great team. To me, they're a Super Bowl contender at this point, But it's about the Chiefs. If the Chiefs want to even rehab their season right now, they have to do it this week, and I think they'll find a way. Give me Chiefs.
No, the Eagles exposed them in the Super Bowl, and they haven't recovered since.
But big barometer, though. The Eagles are the Eagles. I mean,
Right, but even then, that wasn't. I mean, that might have been one of the worst blowouts it is the worst blowout in any half of any Super Bowl, and they haven't recovered. And again, you got to get that winning feeling back. Okay, if they win this one, that's a problem because then they get those vibes back where like, okay, we could win these games and we're still Kansas City. If they lose this one, you could write it like Pat said, it's a nail in a coffin. I'm going to take Indy. Patty Mahomes hasn't beaten Indy ever in the regular season, and it's not going to happen here.
That's an interesting stat, though.
See, I agree with Skyler.
Well, Tony Burns, I got to give that shout out to Tony.
Shout
Burns
out to Tony, but I'm agreeing with Skyler on this one. KC needs it more. I expect him to be in playoff form in this game just because it's a must-win.
If Indy's for real, if Indy's for real, to be taken seriously, you win this game, bury this team for good.
Why does need it more matter?
Because pride. Especially a team like Chiefs also. Pride.
Yeah.
That goes a long way.
I'm still picking the Chiefs in this one. Now we move on. Jets at the Ravens. Ravens favored by 13.5.
I think you could give 25 in this one and still cover. I don't see any way. The Jets actually have quarterback issues, if that's even a possibility at this juncture. I keep saying I think Baltimore is really going to start getting on a roll. Lamar Jackson worries me a little. He still looks like like that. If Cleveland had anybody at quarterback in that game, they win that game.
I agree.
So Baltimore isn't kind of like on the juggernaut yet. But, man, if you can't cream the Jets at home under this scenario with all the issues they got going on, then Baltimore isn't the team I think they are. So I'm taking Baltimore huge in this one.
Baltimore's certainly feasting over easy schedule, which I predicted when the 5 that would happen. Another 4-0 in that stretch.
There you go.
And Tyrod Taylor is starting this week for the Jets, by the way, over Justin Fields. That doesn't matter. The Ravens are red hot. I think Lamar will get it all together this week. Give me the Ravens to cover the spread.
Yeah, there's not much to talk about here. The Ravens are just going to win this thing. Yeah.
Big win for the Ravens here. Now we move on to Cleveland at Las Vegas, where Las Vegas is favored by 3.
Do we have to talk about this game?
Yikes.
Yeah.
Pat, try something, Pat.
I got to believe Cleveland, believe it or not, has some feel of pride or something that they want to play for. Vegas has just really looked terrible the last several games. Like, they're not even engaged. Cleveland seems like they're still trying to play a little bit.
Yeah.
And, again, I don't know if Shedeur's going to start. I'm assuming he will, so they're going to give him some actual reps. So he'll look a little more I would expect this to be a lower scoring game, a lot of running. But Cleveland should win this game.
Bingo. That's the best bet in this game is the under on this game. The only reason you're watching this game is to see Shedeur in his development, see what he does. Otherwise, what are we doing here? Who has better parts? The Raiders have better parts on offense. But, again, they look like they checked out already. So I don't know. I'll take the Raiders just because I don't know if I trust Shedeur to win a game at this point yet. But bet the under on this one.
Yeah, Cleveland has a defense. Let's not forget that. And didn't the Las Vegas fire their defensive coordinator? I think they did.
That's a Mike question.
Right, Mike?
I believe they did, yeah.
Okay. So he gets canned. You get the next guy in there, and everybody's going to be rallied up and all that stuff. I don't know. It's like bad football on bad football. It's always hard to predict these. How many points, Mike?
3.
Yeah. I don't know. This might maybe
tie.
If Shedeur, I'm going to go Shedeur. Shedeur coming out. I'm going to put it down as the Shedeur coming out party here, and we're going to go with Cleveland.
Yeah, I'm taking Cleveland. The offensive line of the Raiders is
He's doing it.
Horrible.
He's doing it.
I'm taking Cleveland, and
they got a guy.
And since I started betting against the Raiders, I haven't been wrong yet.
So. Well, hey.
Yeah, it's not difficult to pick
that draft pick, buddy.
But I'm taking Cleveland to win here. Now moving on to Jacksonville at Arizona, where Jacksonville is favored by 2.5.
Watch out for this one. This is one of those I do not like. I don't trust Jacksonville. They look great against the Chargers, and then it would be absolutely apropos of them to lose this game against Jacoby Brissett, who, by the way, set a record for 47 completions or something ludicrous last week in a loss. That's an NFL record
Very
for
efficient
completions.
Too.
So I'm taking Arizona here. I just do not trust Jacksonville. I don't.
Pat, you and I very alike, man. 'Cause I have the same feel. This is a trap game.
Exactly.
I said earlier in the podcast.
You're coming for my job?
I said it earlier this on the podcast. This is why the Chiefs are still alive. Do you trust the Jaguars to close the deal? I do not. Okay? So there you go. And this game here, Arizona, look, they're a bad team. We get that. But are they capable of beating a team any given Sunday? Absolutely. And the Jaguars are ripe for this. I'm picking the upset. Give me the Cardinals also.
I'm going with Jacksonville. They have enough to win, and I had it, and I said it from probably the beginning of this podcast when we started about Toddler Murray and his struggles, and now he's not even going to be the starter. So yeah, I'm going with Jacksonville here. I think they have enough to win this one.
Noah, me and you are a lot alike. I'm going to take Jacksonville here too. Yeah, I like them on the road. Again, favored by 2.5. Now Philly at Dallas. Philly is only favored by 3.
Yeah, this one, Dallas is one of those bizarre teams that they can show up once in a while, and the 2 receivers benched. It's the craziest organization in sports by far. I think they give Philadelphia a game. I still think the Eagles win this game, but with the Nealon getting dying, and I think the Cowboys are rallying around that a little bit. I don't know if that lasts more than the game last week. I don't think this has like the fireworks or anything. I think this is just a grinded out win for the Eagles, so I take them.
The Cowboys always play the Eagles relatively decent. That's why if there's a game in the schedule that the Eagles could lose, and I looked at it, this is the game I said they could probably lose this game. That's because it's Dallas, it's the division rivalry, and you know how it is. But I think Philly, once again, will find a way to win this game. But Dallas wins this game, I'm be surprised, but I'll take the Eagles.
Yeah, this is going to be our launch pad for offense. Dallas's defense is terrible.
They are.
They're really, really, really bad. We don't have Lane Johnson this week, but Micah's not playing, so that used to be an incredible matchup, and that's not going to happen because Dallas trades their best players away. I do think that Philly is going to get back on track with their offense. This is a good spot to do it. And I think this is going to, Dallas put all those investments into players and all these things for this game. You lose this game, and now you're like, okay, we made mistakes everywhere. Like, what are we going to do going into next season? And then Philadelphia leapfrogs into the Super Bowl again.
I'm going to take Philadelphia. The Cowboys fan of the chat, he's picking the Cowboys, says the Eagles' offense is really bad right now.
I don't see him anymore. Even though he works here, he doesn't come around.
By the way, being at home doesn't matter. Cowboys don't do really well at home anyway, historically, so...
Okay, let's talk about Atlanta at New Orleans. This is going to be a good one.
Oh, what are we
New Orleans is actually favored by 1.5 in this one.
Wow.
Again, Atlanta's a Jekyll and Hyde team. They look okay some weeks, and then they look awful other weeks. New Orleans generally just looks awful. I got to take Atlanta. They got to beat this team, but this is going to be a crappy game. And if you were betting it, you should have your head examined.
This game's even worse. This game's even worse than Vegas in Cleveland, in my opinion.
Thanks.
Because now Panic's out for the year. So Atlanta's gone from the Jekyll and Hyde to now being bad. Because Cousins, we saw Cousins was terrible. New Orleans has had spots this year where it would have been kind of frisky, here and there. They beat Carolina a couple weeks ago. A team that could be in first place next week. So I'm gonna take New Orleans this game. It's that simple.
Is Kirk Cousins starting?
Yes, he is.
You're going to see something special here. It's crazy. I'm going with Atlanta and Kirk Cousins and maybe his farewell tour game.
Maybe it is.
Yep, I'm taking Atlanta on the road. Now the Sunday night game. Tampa Bay at the Rams. Rams favored by 6.5.
This is a good one. I'm leaning Tampa here. I think even though Tampa lost and the Rams won last week, I like what Tampa did in the loss, and I didn't like as much what the Rams did in the win, if that makes any sense. I'm going to take Tampa here. I think Baker Mayfield does something crazy and throws a bunch of touchdowns or something. The Rams are good. Don't get me wrong. And they probably should win this game. But I think Tampa feels like they got something to prove, so I'm going to take that.
This is definitely ripe for a Baker Mayfield classic here because of Sunday Night Football and the desperate team. And by the way, not for nothing, we'll get to the next game in a second. The team that they're playing Monday Night Football could be in first place by the time you look at the standings on Tuesday in the division. But I just don't see it happening altogether. Tampa, Rams win this game, I think, ultimately because they're a better team. But I'll take the Bucs on the points. This is going to be a field goal game, in my opinion.
Yeah, for one, I'm just because it is standings, I'm finding myself. I'm supposed to be pulling for Tampa and Baker Mayfield because it knocked the Rams back. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to wait till we play the Rams. I don't care if it's home or away. I think the Rams. I'm not betting against Matt Stafford, not the way he's playing right now.
Yeah.
Unless he gets banged up, I'm going to go with the Rams.
Yeah, I'm taking the Rams at home also. And before we move on to the next game, Noah, as a former football coach, there is a middle school in Charlotte called the Charlotte Christian School, whose head coach is former Carolina Panther Greg Olson. I thought he was great great on
okay.
TV also.
Yeah.
He's a head coach. Defensive coordinator is Luke Kuechly, arguably one of the greatest linebackers ever. And then Jonathan Stewart, who was a star running back for the Panthers, is the assistant coach, running backs coach. Can you imagine sitting across the field from this coaching staff?
Yeah, the knowledge that those guys have, and I seen it one time. I was lucky enough when my kid was playing youth football that we were coaching Eden James, who was Ederin James's kid. And Ederin came out for a couple practices, and he spent time with the kids. And the amount of stuff that I learned and the kids learned and the way he explained it, his most interesting story real quick was he got a lot of yardage, when he was getting tackled. And he told the kids had a tendency when they're going to get tackled, they just get tackled. But he said, wait until you're 6 inches away from the other kid. And he said, deliver a hit every time. And it made that little bit of difference where they were breaking contact and breaking. But it's the little nuances like that they're going to be able to give these kids that are you could carry forever. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, it's a great story. We'll hear more about it, I'm sure. I think they won
That's
their
amazing,
last game
though.
of the season, 32-0 or
Amazing.
something. Fantastic coaching staff. But now let's talk about Carolina and San Francisco, where San Francisco is favored by 7.
Is San Fran? Somebody's got to check me on this. Have they done the one loss, or some wacky?
Well, they're 7-4 right now.
So it's some pattern like where they lose on the even weeks and they win on the odd weeks or something.
That's interesting.
So this is the even week, I believe.
Numerology.
So I'm going to stick with that. There's no reason why Carolina should any way, shape, or form beat San Fran in San Fran, but I'm sticking with that pattern. So I'm going to go Carolina.
If you told me before the year started that Week 12 Monday Night Football Panthers-Niners is actually a must-watch game, I would have said, get the hell out of here. And yet we are here because right now, as I said earlier, if the Bucs lose on Sunday night, which probably will happen, and the Carolina Panthers find a way to win this game, they are in first place in NFC South. We are in that world right now. But I just don't see it happening. I just don't see it happening this week. I think San Francisco, they got Purdy back last week, and he had a really good game against Arizona. Granted, it's Arizona, but still. I'll take the Niners here. I just think the Niners are a better team, obviously. And Kyle Shanahan, it's coach. This is actually one of the best performances we've seen by a team this in season in terms of the injuries and whatnot, and they're still in contention. Give me Niners.
Yeah, Carolina beats up on bad teams, too. Their opponents winning. The teams that they beat have a .36 win percentage. I don't see him beating San Fran. Purdy, he played okay. I mean, he did what he had to do. Nothing spectacular. But, I do not see Carolina going in and winning this. I'm taking San Fran.
Yeah, I'm taking the Niners at home. Again, they're favored by 7 in this one. That's the Monday night matchup there. Now I'm actually going to skip around the outline this week because I want to talk about the MLB award winners before Pat has to get out of here.
Yeah.
That is a big story that I was very unhappy about. I think Noah was probably the only one on the dais that's not unhappy about that. The American League MVP was Aaron Judge when I thought it should have been Cal Raleigh. How did you feel about that, Pat?
Yeah, I mean, you can obviously make the argument that Raleigh, hitting as many homers as he did as a catcher and get that team making it to the playoffs and all that stuff. But, I think these voters they're human beings. And because Aaron Judge plays in New York for the Yankees, that gives you extra points, whatever that is. I'm not saying Aaron Judge didn't deserve it as well, but clearly I think Raleigh had the better season. It's just because I think Aaron Judge plays in New York, and that got him over whatever the hump is to get him the vote. Again, unbelievable player. Aaron Judge is one of those Shoshani Tony guys, except he doesn't pitch. He does almost everything else well. But I think Raleigh should have won that.
I was less bothered by the National League one because, like, Schwarber, I thought Schwarber should have won that, but whatever. Ohtani, whatever, I get that.
Yeah.
Pat, that was nice. Very, very nice the way you say it. That was egregious what happened there. That is absolute New York bias. And I'm born in New York for the record. I can say that. That is bias. Like, a guy, he had, 64 home runs this year? 64 home runs. 64. And a team went to the playoffs. And if I'm not mistaken, they were higher seeded than the Yankees this year, also on top of that. And ridiculous. That is egregious. And again, this is not a knock on Judge. I know people say, oh, well, Aaron Judge is great. No, Aaron Judge is the best player probably in that league, and that's the Ohtani. But Cal Raleigh, what he did last year, was incredible. By the way, also a great catcher on top of that, too, also.
Yeah.
So this is actually probably one of the worst things I think I've seen in baseball in years, honestly. Yeah. Cal Raleigh should have gotten that hands down.
Yeah, a lot of these votes are popularity contests. I'm not a fan. At some point you have a new story, and Aaron Judge is going to win some down the road anyway. Don't take this away from this guy who had an amazing year.
He won last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm a big Cal Raleigh truther. Let's run through the awards. Obviously, Judge won the American League. Otani in the National League. The Cy Youngs went to Tariq Skubal. I think that's his second year in a row. And Livy's boyfriend, Paul Skeens, won the National League Cy Young, which is great. Shout out to Alexis.
That's awesome, yeah.
They got it right there.
That's all they have to be happy about right now. Rookie of the Year, Nick Kurtz for the A's, and then Drake Baldwin, who I told you was going to be Rookie of the Year like 3 months ago. I wish I would have bet on that.
Yeah.
And then Managers of the Year, Stephen Vaught for the Guardians and Pat Murphy for the Brewers. And before Pat has to get out of here, let's go ahead and do our quick picks for the day. So now we're going to move on to our favorite segment of the show, and it's called Quick Picks. Buffalo at Houston, Thursday night game. Buffalo favored by 5.5.
Buffalo really has to win this game. This is not a lock. I'm going to take Buffalo, but Houston can give them a game.
Buffalo will win this game. They must win this game, like you said, but Houston the points.
Joshy big here. Go Buffalo.
Yep, taking Buffalo. Now moving on to Sunday's games. Pittsburgh at Chicago. Chicago favored by 2.5.
I'm going with the record. 1-11 in Chicago lifetime. That's too tough to overcome. I'm taking Chicago.
Until I hear words about Aaron Rodgers playing his status, whatever, for this game, I'm going to take the Bears.
They should start Paul Skeens for I'm going with Pittsburgh. He'd be able to throw some heat.
Oh, man, I'm taking Chicago at home here. Now, New England at Cincinnati. New England favored by 8.
I'm taking Cincinnati. This is one of those games where everything points to New England, but New England I just don't think is quite this good yet. I think they overlook Cincinnati, and they end up losing this game.
No Burrow. No Chase.
Yeah, that's what I mean. There's no reason
right.
why you pick
Red hot
Cincinnati.
Patriots team. Now, they could be looking down, but I'll take the Patriots anyway.
Patriots, now Giants at the Lions. Lions favored by 10.5.
This should be a smoke job. Detroit should win this game easily. They might not, but they should. So I'm taking Detroit.
This is a must-win, must-get-right. Got to look good, style points, all that. They better do it. Detroit wins this.
Yeah, Detroit wins this by like 8 miles.
Yep.
I like that. That was good.
Oh, man. This guy's full of it today.
He's got it, man. He's rolling.
Now, Minnesota at Green Bay. Green Bay favored by 6.5.
I'm taking Green Bay at home. Minnesota, I think, is done, and they made a mistake letting Darnold go. And they're finding that out now. So I'm taking Green Bay.
Like Detroit, same of Green Bay. Need a must-win and style points. Give me Packers.
Yeah, Packers.
Packers at home. Now moving on. Seattle at Tennessee. Seattle favored by 13.
I like Seattle big time in this. I'm not sure if Tennessee wins another game. I think Seattle wins this and covers easily.
Pissed off Seahawks win this one going away.
I'll take the Seahawks.
Taking the Birds. And now moving on.
It's not the Birds.
Yeah, it's a bird species.
It's a bird species.
Indianapolis at Kansas City. Kansas City favored by 3.
The nail in the coffin, I'm taking Indianapolis.
A change in the guard game. I just can't see 5 and 6 just yet. Give me Andy. Give me Pat and the Chiefs.
Yeah, the Colts finished the job that the Eagles started.
I'm with Earnest on this. I think the Chiefs are going to win this one. Now, Jets at Baltimore. Baltimore favored by 13.5.
This is the smoke shot game. Baltimore should just cream the Jets. I think this is a 40-plus point win.
Yeah, Lamar comes back and crushes the Jets here. Give me Ravens.
Yeah, as my kid says, Jet stands for just end the season. I'm going to go with Baltimore.
Yeah, I'll take the Birds in this one also. Now moving on to Cleveland at Las Vegas. Las Vegas favored by 3.
Probably the dog of the week, but I do want to see Shedeur with a week of prep and see what he does. I think Cleveland wins this game.
Yeah, obviously Shedeur is the highlight of this game, honestly, on a watchable game. Give me Raiders, though.
Yeah, I'm going to take Shedeur to win one game. I could sell my autograph card and get out of that. So,
yeah, my best bet every week is that the Las Vegas is going to lose. I'm taking Cleveland here. Now moving on, Jacksonville at Arizona. Jacksonville favored by 2.5.
Watch out for the Arizona Cardinals in this one. I think they win this game outright.
If you trust the Jaguars, you are nuts. Give me the Cardinals in upset.
Duval.
I'm taking the Jaguars in this one also. Now the Philadelphia Eagles at the Cowboys. Philly favored by 3.
I think Dallas is going to give them a game, but I think the Eagles – this is going to be another one of those they just figure out a way to eke out a win, and they beat Dallas in Dallas.
This is a game I said in the schedule that the Eagles could lose, but I just don't see it this week. Give me the Eagles.
Yeah, I don't see it either. Go Philly.
Of course you don't see it.
I'll take the Birds in this one also. Now Atlanta at New Orleans. New Orleans favored by 1.5.
Here's your dog of the week. I'm taking Atlanta just because of Kirk Cousins. quarterback's much better than whoever New Orleans is running out there at this juncture. So I got to think Atlanta wins
The
this.
Falcons are no longer Jekyll and Hyde. They're just bad. Give me the Saints.
No, Atlanta and Kurt Thuggins.
Kurt Thuggins in Atlanta in this one. Now the Sunday night game, a good one. Tampa Bay at the Rams. Rams favored by 6.5.
Yeah, probably the game of the week. I'm taking Tampa. I think Baker Mayfield does something special in this game. Rams, even though they won, I can't feel great about themselves, not blowing out Seattle with a plus turnover ratio of +4 or whatever it was. So I'm taking Tampa.
This is definitely a must win for the Bucks because of what's going on with Carolina right now. So Bucks on the points, but Rams win.
Yeah, every game's a must win. I'm going with the Rams.
I'm taking the Rams here now. Monday night's game. Carolina at San Francisco. San Fran favored by 7.
I'm shocked that's not higher. That should be a higher line. But I'm taking Carolina only because San Fran is on a win-lose pattern, and this would be a lose this game.
I can't believe Carolina Panthers are 6-5 right now in Week 12 is crazy. But San Fran, Kyle Shanahan's doing a great job there. Give me the Niners.
Yeah, Carolina's schedule's soft. Give me San Fran.
Yeah, taking San Fran at home. And that was quick picks for week number 12.
We made it quick. We did.
We did. But, Pat, before you get out of here, anything you're looking forward to this week?
We got football. What else is there? There's nothing else. I will say this. One quick thing about the NBA, and I know this is Earnest. There's got to be some concern with the level of guys getting injured. And I don't think these are load management injuries. I think guys are legitimately getting injured. Wembanyama, Giannis, Ja Morant, those are stars of your league, and they're going to be out, some of these guys, for a while. You cannot have that in this league. They got to figure out, and I don't know what it is because in other generations, guys played 82 games. But they got to figure that out. You can't lose those guys. And if that is load management BS and they're just holding them out with an injury because then the NBA is really going to be in trouble.
They're saying there's a science now that the players today are covering more ground, especially now, which is why it's about more injuries in terms of with the three-point shooting, especially they're covering more ground in the league now. That's why they're getting hurt more.
Well, the impact on the body with how high they're jumping and things like that is just incredible.
Having to cover threes, cover this, cover the perimeter, all that. It's different than it was back in the day. It's not an excuse. I'm just saying that's what.
And that could be true, but they you can't lose guys like that.
I agree with you. I agree. Like last night, I'm looking forward to watching that game last night. The Grizzlies and the Spurs. No Ja. No Wemby.
Yeah,
what are we watching? What are we watching?
Yeah.
No watch. Yeah.
So
exactly. Well, Pat, you have a great week. We're going to see you in either next week or soon, or we'll hear from you soon.
I might make an appearance next week. You never know.
Okay,
what do you hear reaction to
that would be great.
Steelers?
We should have a turkey leg award.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Exactly.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, we already have a lot of turkeys on this show, so it's going to be great.
Yeah,
like right now, let's talk about Hard Rock Bet's new offer that they've had out for a little while now, and that offer is you make a first deposit of at least $10 and place a cash wager of $5 or more, and if your first bet wins, you're going to receive $150 in bonus bets. That's one of the better offers they've had out. Now, bonus bet details includes $150 is credited in 6 separate $25 bonus bets, and those bonus bets are going to expire 7 days after they are issued. If you'd like more information, you could always go to our website at pbkennelclub.com/hardrockbet. Get out your phone now if you're not already betting on that app, and go over the QR code with your photo app on your phone and fill out the information, and you will be betting in no time. And that's offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Got to be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. If you're concerned about gambling, please call 1-888-ADMIT-IT. And now let's talk about some fantasy football. We have a little league right here with fantasy football, and
this is bad.
I somehow, and I'm not even bragging on myself, I'm in first
I
place.
won again?
Did you?
Yeah.
How did that happen? That's weird.
That's crazy.
Yeah, you beat the boys are back in town.
That's Jacob, right?
Yeah, that's Jacob. You actually won handily in that one.
It's crazy.
Noah,
Throttled.
did you even try this week?
I did try.
Noah? Like
I'm
Noah,
past all my bye weeks now, so I'm good now. I'm gonna make
he scored
yeah.
56 points.
terrible.
So
He lost to
I
Joey.
think Josh Allen scored that by himself. So you might have just needed him on your
I think
team.
I'm in trouble in the standings. Do we have the standings or no?
The standing.
Okay,
He doesn't
so-
have the standing.
Good.
I know I'm in first
You know what,
place,
let's not-
and I don't know why.
Let's not have the standings.
See, it says first right under Las Vegas Steelers. I beat Paul's perfect team, Paul from the Paddock Restaurant, just simply because of the Monday night game, and I had the Raiders tight end Brock.
Trevion Henderson.
So rumor has it. So you're diverse in your fantasy. So you enter multiple, so you can feel like a winner. I hear.
Yeah, I'm doing well.
I heard that you lost in another league, and it was a tough one.
Who told you that?
Todd, the Denver Bronco guy.
Yeah, no.
Unlike you, I have one team.
I have some choice words for Todd.
Todd Frawley.
How many teams do you have, Mike?
See, the two Todds in that league, Todd Frawley and Todd Need, I dislike both of those guys. They both look alike, the shaved heads, the gray beards, like great poker dealers, but I dislike both of those guys because they're really good at fantasy. But, yeah, I got killed by Josh Allen.
Todd needs to take that thing seriously.
Oh, he does. He knows too much. So does Joey. I hate fantasy.
Oh, yeah, Joey's the worst for that,
I just
bro.
know too much.
Hey, want to trade?
Yeah, Joey's in second now in our league, and he's definitely going to win that. Yeah, he's going to beat me probably, but my fantasy football stardom of the week, I'm going to take a chance. He just came back last week from injury. Ricky Pearsall, I think he's got one game under his belt now. He always has had such a great relationship with Brock Purdy. I think he's going to have a good game. And my sit was going to be Ashton Genty because that Raiders line is so terrible. You see the safety he had last week. It looked like he couldn't even move. Yeah. So I'm going to sit Ashton Genty this week. Hopefully, by doing that, he'll have a good game and I'll win. But that's probably not going to happen. What about you, Earnest?
Well, my storm this week is going to be Sam Darnold, who I think will bounce back this week. He's playing in Tennessee.
That's frisky.
That's kind of frisky.
Very frisky.
But here's my sit-em that's going to be very controversial, but follow me here. And you only do this if you have a quality backup, okay? You sit Josh Allen this week.
Wow.
Against Houston.
Yeah,
Houston's defense, best in the league right now.
That's a hot take.
Also, Josh Allen does not play well against Houston Texans historically.
That's a hot take we're not going to cut. We're not cutting that one.
No, don't cut it. I'm telling you. Sit Josh Allen this week against Houston. I'm telling you.
That's crazy.
In Houston, best teams in the league. Trust me.
We're going to come up with some kind of wager because there's no scenario and no world where Josh Allen doesn't
I'm just saying. But there's a caveat I said, though. If you have a quality backup.
No, you said that he's going to outscore Josh Allen.
So what?
You said sit Josh Allen?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because if you have a quality backup,
we have no credibility
again. Houston's
Pat
defense.
last year, and now the show just
last year, when Josh Allen
downhill.
played in Houston last year, he went 7-21 that game,
That's
113 yards, okay,
I appreciate
and 3
that.
picks. Don't start with me about that.
You don't.
I
Trust me.
appreciate that. That's good.
I have
That's
numbers
good,
to back
Ernest.
it up, buddy.
You don't behave like this when Pat's here. All right. So I'm going with start.
You guys are just alike, remember?
I'm going to start with everything's like all hunky dory and rainbows, and then Pat leaves, and Josh Allen isn't a good football player.
I never said he wasn't a good football player. I said against Houston, it's a bad matchup. I'm giving you numbers to prove that.
You're a bad matchup this podcast.
Apparently, yes, I am.
So I'm
Turkey.
Where's the other guy, Ian? Bring back.
Where's Ian?
I'm going to start A.J. Brown because Dallas's defensive corners are terrible, and I'm going to sit Dak because our defense is amazing. That's it.
You're such a homer, dude.
It is a
Why are
homer.
you a homer?
This time.
That's good. No, I like those. No, I what Ernest said could be true. I'd really have a hard time unless I had a spectacular backup
Again,
sitting Josh
caveat.
Allen.
Like,
Yeah.
remember my
don't sit
situation.
Josh Allen.
So for me, I started the year with Kyler Murray as my starting quarterback and Caleb Williams as my backup.
Yeah.
Give me an example of a backup you would start.
Well, it depends what you have. I mean,
Give me one. Just you pick anybody. You can have anybody. Who do you want?
well, would Sam Darnold be a backup on most teams?
No.
Based on leagues?
Probably.
You have
Okay, so you can start Sam Darnold.
You have your pick of every quarterback.
I think Sam Darnold will put up better numbers this week than Josh Allen will because
Okay.
of the situation.
Now you're wrong. Shut the show off.
Dude, he's playing Tennessee this week, bro.
Now, let's see how far Ernest can go as we talk about our sports betting pick of the week.
Downward spiral.
My sports betting pick, I
Yelling.
almost hit it last week.
Almost?
I had 3 out of the 4 in my
What does that
parlay
pay?
hit. It paid nothing.
Okay.
But I didn't bet it either,
You
so
could
I
do the
didn't
round
lose
robin.
anything.
You could do the round robin on that.
I gotta start
Yeah,
doing
I
that.
could've,
I gotta start doing that
actually.
because I get screwed every
That's
time I
smart.
don't do the draw round. I always go 9 out of 10, 8 out of 9.
Yeah, that's a great feature on the Hard Rock Bet app. Figure out the round robin, and you'll be hitting those bets. But my bets this week, Bills are going to win on Thursday night. James Cook at anytime touchdown. Nico Collins over 5.5 receptions. Davis Mills over 210.5 yards, just because I think they're going to be coming from behind. And that's plus 700, $25 to make 200. What about you, Earnest?
NBA tonight. NBA, here we go. The Cavs plus 1.5 against the Rockets. The Sixers plus 1.5 also against the Raptors at home. The Warriors plus 6.5 against the Heat here down in Miami. And then the over 28.5 points for Nikola Jokic tonight. $100 bet will get you $1,300.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Wow.
Stay in your lane with the NBA. Okay, so I'm going
I
with
hate you.
I'm going to go with the Bills. Okay, and then now because of your shenanigans and the nonsense that you're spitting, out on this show, I'm going to go with Josh Allen over everything, over touchdowns, over rushing yards, over like under everything.
I love how I
7+
triggered Noah.
touchdowns.
I triggered Noah so much. I love it.
I'm going to
Makes my week.
I'm going to cook the biggest Josh Allen
Cook
parlay
it.
up ever.
Big pot. Thanks for
100
next week.
yards
Let's go.
rushing, everything.
Stay tuned to the social media. Tomorrow night, it's going to be posted. I'm going to cook up the Josh Allen millionaire parlay.
Yeah, we'll post that if Noah sends that to me tomorrow night.
Under.
And let's talk about everything going on here at PBKC. We have November high hands going on right now in the poker room. We also have a big giveaway on the 26th also, and then the big one at the end of the month is on the 29th. Of course, we're doing great things for Thanksgiving week, which is coming up next week, and the poker room is open on Thanksgiving Day, so you got to come in. And of course, we do have those special progressives on the 26th.
You know that weird spot, like, so I can't come here to play, but if I could, that weird spot, like when dinner's all done and everybody's just sitting around doing nothing.
You don't want
to
spend time with those people anyway.
There's that whole shopping thing or all that nonsense or whatever.
Exactly.
Forget all that. Come to the poker room. The football games are on.
Yeah.
And play a little poker.
Yeah, it's a much better place than sitting around with family. That's what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, Aunt Faye.
Yeah, exactly. And the food. I mean, we got good food here, too. So
that's true.
Come out on Thanksgiving Day to play until 3 a.m. Also, we had a lot of people asking about that. So we've already put out, you can actually already start buying tickets to our big game party. That's going to be February 8th. Noah thinks he knows the team that's going to be there, at least one of them. If you want to call for more information.
We're on a collision course. We are talking the Bills and the Eagles.
Patriots and Rams? What do you think, Ernest?
No.
What do you think,
Definitely
He
Eagles.
doesn't have
I would go Eagles, definitely NFC. AFC, I would probably pick the Ravens, though.
Yeah, the one thing I know as a sure bet on the Super Bowl day, the 8th, is the big game party, because it's going to be a $45 all-you-can-eat buffet. It is very popular each and every year. I was there last year. It was absolutely fantastic because we have our TVs, 140 HD TVs, all on the big game. We got tabletop TVs. We got great service. We have wonderful food. You're not going to want to miss it.
You can watch Bad Bunny, too.
Way better than that Stuffy's place. That Stuffy's.
Yeah. We're going to be all dancing along when Bad Baby comes, or Bad
Baby,
Bad Baby. Yeah, that was the Catch Me Outside girl. That's what I was talking about.
How about that?
But yeah, Bad Bunny. That's going to be awesome for our big game party. Also, one of the things we got coming up is the Armed Forces Appreciation Luncheon.
This is great.
That's coming up the 11th. And this year's guest speaker, this is a guy I can't wait to hear from, is Clinton Romisha. And he is a Medal of Honor recipient. You've seen him on podcasts. He's wonderful.
Yeah, I'm big on these armed forces things now. I watched there was a thing on Netflix that has the Marines, and like I don't feel like a man as much anymore now after watching those guys. So you come out to this and support it and be around like all that like manliness, because I mean these people are really like the top of the toughest like. Yeah, like you're not going to go there. You can't argue with anybody there. It'd be a bad idea. But this is great. And if you've seen that Netflix special, you'll understand a little more what these guys go through for everybody and come out and support.
Speak for yourself. I have Riz right now. Next to the man right here.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite Marines.
Yeah, we got a lot of guys here
50.
that we work here also that have served. So thank you.
We do,
you guys.
Yeah,
especially Todd. One of the Todd.
Thank you everybody for their service. And come out there, and that's December 11th. You can go to our website if you want more information, pbkennelclub.com, or purchase tickets at Rooney'sGolfFoundation.org. Clinton Romisha, that is a Medal of Honor recipient. He is the guest speaker, Armed Forces Appreciation Luncheon, and that is the 11th. Now move on to talk about our next big show in the paddock, and that is going to be my favorite and yours. That's Chris McDonald. He is coming up on the 12th. He is absolutely fantastic. I can't wait for him. He's now a close personal friend of mine. He knows me by name, which has just made my entire life.
I was in Costa Rica recently, and they have a full bar dedicated to
Chris McDonald?
Only Elvis karaoke. Only Elvis.
Awesome.
So that tells you how many hits this guy had.
Oh, absolutely wonderful. This is one of the best shows. It always sells out. It is his only show in Palm Beach County, his only Christmas show. It's called Merry Christmas Baby.
He tours?
Yeah, he tours around the country.
That's awesome. That's amazing.
God, put some respect on Chris McDonald.
That's awesome.
Man, but it's memories of Elvis. Merry Christmas, baby. He's also coming back for Valentine's Day. He comes
Where do you
twice
think
a year.
he came from? Like he just
Heaven?
lived down the street?
I know he was. I thought he was maybe local, so I didn't realize that. That's
You
amazing.
never watched the show? The shows?
I haven't had a chance to go to see the show yet.
That's it.
I would like to go this year, though.
Ernest, you're bringing your wife now. You're going to see Chris
yeah.
McDonald
This
on the
guy's the
12th.
number one. If it's not Elvis, it's Chris. And
Yeah.
it's
no,
close.
it's Chris then
actually,
Elvis.
It's close now.
We discussed it
Yeah.
last
That's
week.
what
It's
Noah
Chris
said
then
last
Elvis.
week.
Yeah.
Right?
But that's December 12th. Get your tickets, pbkennelclub.com. What are your final thoughts? What are you looking forward to this week, Ernest?
To me, honestly, the Chiefs, it's going to be, again, I spoke about it earlier, the change in the guard field has right now. Like, if they win, obviously they're able to rehab for a week, and obviously AFC play picture is very messy. But if they lose this week, man, I'm telling you, they'll be 0-3 in that stretch, and my God, sports talk radio for the next, 72 hours, that's going to be crazy because 5-6 Chiefs, I did not see that coming.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to lighting Ernest's phone up tomorrow night when Josh Allen goes berserk. That's what I'm looking forward to.
I'm looking forward to be on that text chain when I see
You
the
will.
lit
I'm
up
gonna do what you do. Ignore the calls when the games are on.
with 6 Josh Allen touchdowns, as long as I'm not facing him in fantasy. But, yeah, I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to that Chiefs game, too.
Yeah.
I feel like this is, like Ernest said, a change into the guard in the NFL. I just cannot imagine a playoffs without the Chiefs. But we might be there this year, and that's what I'm looking forward to this weekend. But we're going to catch you on the show next Wednesday morning.
Thanksgiving special.
For a Thanksgiving
That's right.
special on Thanksgiving Eve next Wednesday morning at 10 a.m. right here on PBKC Picks at Palm Beach Kennel Club. Have a great week, everybody.
See ya.
PBKC is your entertainment destination for poker, table games, OTB, Paddock live events, and exceptional eats. The Paddock Restaurant is perfect for meetings, corporate functions, parties, fundraising, and more. Call 561-683-2222, extension 199, and book your next event today. Feast in Football is back in the paddock. Get ready for touchdowns and tasty bites every football Sunday during the regular season. Enjoy a $25 all-you-can-eat buffet plus 1 draft beer, or get it free when you place a $25 or more live bet on the Hard Rock Bet app at PBKC. Featuring 140 HD TVs, 3 giant screens, and a full bar. Bring your crew, place your bets, and pile your plate high. This is how Sundays were meant to be.